What up, everybody? Last night I got to watch The Mist from 2007, starring Thomas Jane and a couple of other really good actors that I don't know their name. I've always liked Thomas Jane, always loved Stephen King. Definitely, I have read some of his books. I do have the original It book, but I don't have The Mist. And after watching this movie, I really want to read the book. I know Stephen King definitely has some hits and misses. Pet Cemetery was really bad. There's a couple of movies that had completely fallen flat. But when Stephen King can make a good movie and put his all into it, it really shows. And The Mist is one of those movies. This movie to me is pretty much perfect. I have absolutely no complaints, no negative things to say. I find It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 are pretty much perfect. And I can't believe I never watched this movie. I always heard of it. Wasn't sure if I was going to be interested in watching it, and I just wanted a movie that was just gonna leave me flabbergasted and shocked at the end. And I had a bunch of recommendations to watch this, and I'm so happy I did. Most importantly, this movie isn't about character development. This movie isn't about building characters. It is about these characters and these people just trying to survive. And you really do feel bad for them. You really do, especially the little kid. You really feel bad for everyone. You can tell that everyone is a good person. And you gotta have some human decency. Not every movie needs these big character arcs. And you just want these people to get out alive and be safe. And one of the things that I absolutely loved was I really like movies that are just in one setting. And for here, we're in the grocery store for literally 90% of the movie. And it's so well done. It never gets boring. You never feel like it's just you're kind of stuck here and you're not going to go anywhere else, which you do eventually, but not till near the end of the movie. So I thought that was a really fun idea, making everyone just trapped and they can't get out, and it made it for such a interesting watch because you're curious as to who is gonna go crazy, who's gonna fucking kill someone first, who's gonna open that door first. Like there's so many cool things that could happen, and they pulled it off. They pulled it off perfectly. My favorite part of the whole movie is the ending, which I'll get to in a sec. But my favorite part of the movie is the creatures are terrifying in this movie. I thought I was gonna be watching something like Pet Cemetery, and it's gonna be like they're not really creepy. The CGI in this has aged so well, and I have a huge bug phobia. I cannot stand bugs, and this movie just fucking grossed me out in a good way. I loved it. There's a bunch of different monsters in here, and then you have the segment where everyone goes to the pharmacy and they're trying to get supplies, and everyone's tangled up in these spider webs, and you don't know what's gonna happen, and then the spiders come out of their bodies, and then the spiders wrap their fucking webs around people's legs and they just disintegrate and they burn them off. Like shit like that, I find just disgusting, but at the same time, I love it because it just makes you go, oh my god. And this whole movie is just that feeling. It's just a big fucking oh my god movie. There's so much shit in here that happens, but the creature designs are just amazing. They always could be like just a bit unrealistic, but like some of these, when you look at them, you're like, fuck, that really looks like a spider. Do you really think that could be a spider in our world? And then you see all these little insects flying around, and then you have these little bat things, and then you have the big creature that walks around in the mist that's so big and it can't see anyone below him because he's so tall. So creepy, and the reaction of our characters when they walk out and see that for the first time is priceless. Now, where this movie completely fucked with me in the head was the ending. If you have seen it, you know what happens. If you haven't seen it, sorry, but I'm going to spoil it. There's only 5 people, and there's 4 bullets, so one person's got to stay alive, and Thomas Jane makes the hard decision to take out his kid. And if you waited a couple of more minutes before he pulled that trigger, everybody would have had help and everyone would have gotten out safe. And that doesn't happen. He pulls the trigger, he kills everybody, even his own son, and then the military shows up right away. Because I thought the movie was going to end there. I thought he was just going to kill everybody, and I thought it was going to end. And then it shows this shot of the mist, and I'm like, okay, is there a monster going to come? I thought it was going to be like a kind of a cliche ending, if that is really what was going to happen. And you see this big military tank just show up, and my mind for the past hour last night, I was just staring in the ceiling. I was just staring off into the abyss, trying to process what I just watched. All he had to do was just wait a couple of more minutes, but at the same time, he didn't know. He had no idea that there was a military assistance out there, and that was just the biggest gut punch I've ever seen in any movie. That this is definitely like one of my favorite movies and ending to a movie in such a long time. It's been so long since I've just gotten flabbergasted by an ending, and this completely did it for me. I love this movie. I give it a 10 out of 10. The only problem is the rewatch. I don't really think there's a rewatch value here. Once you see it and you know what happens, there's really no shock value left. But at the same time, it is a really well-made movie with a lot of care. And most importantly, I just loved how they handled the creatures. We don't get a stupid backstory about where they're from or blah blah, how the mist appeared. Absolutely nothing. It's crickets. You got to kind of figure it out for yourself, and I just love that. This whole movie is a mystery. You still got to, and maybe the book explains it a bit more, but I just love how they didn't explain anything about the monsters, and they're just here, and I thought that was really fucking scary and at the same time creepy and disgusting. It was so well done. I'm seeing Longlegs tonight, and yeah, hopefully tonight my review for that will be out. So thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't watched The Mist, please go watch it. It is so fucking good. It's definitely worth the 2 hours. And there's some people in here that you might want to die, and there's some people in here you don't want to die. And unfortunately for our main character, he's the one that had the toughest pill to swallow. Now he's got to go on the rest of his life knowing that he killed his son and his wife is at home and he's got to tell her. It's too bad, but it worked, man. And a lot of people, I just did research. A lot of people apparently don't like the ending. Maybe the book is completely different. I don't know. I do know the book is different, like character-wise. Obviously, there's a lot more development, but the book has a lot more time. So, like I said, if you haven't seen The Mist, go check it out. Go buy it. Go support it, and hopefully Stephen King makes another banger like this someday. That would be really cool. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.